Hi, and welcome. We're the Weasley Sisters. This is episode 243, and I'm Jessica, also known as Naturally Knitty.
And I'm Allena, also known as Starnitz. This is our bi monthly podcast. If you are a first time watcher, thanks for watching. If you're a returning watcher, thanks for coming back.
So grab your knitting, pull up a chair, and craft along with us. You have any mojo?
I actually do. Um, I made this baby blanket, or I joined this baby blanket. I
Awesome.
have to sew in the ends though, so it's not super finished. I have to sew in the ends. And there's a couple of squares that I need to sew in ends on too, which is kind of making me cranky. So
Yeah, weaving in ends is
I'm
never.
sewing in ends for myself, but if I'm joining blanket squares, please send your blanket squares with fit ends finished, so I don't have to. Um, Word to the people out there. So yeah, so I finished that. It's for someone who had a baby like the end of last year, so I am only 4 months late.
That's okay. Better late than never.
That's better than 4 years, right?
That too.
So that's all that I finished.
Okay. Uh, I have a whip. I started. Did we podcast last time? Did I say I was doing a newt? I can't remember when we last
No, we podcasted before the end of term.
Okay, so I decided to do a newt. And my newt consists of cleaning 4 fleeces and spinning up samples for each one. I have a Romney, which is right here, and then 2 Cornwall fleeces, and then 1 Cordell cross with Leicester long wool um, fleece. I started with the Romney. I'll talk more about that in spinning though. But anyways, for the other part of the new, I am knitting the January sweater for the Knitter's Almanac by Elizabeth Zennemerman. It's the first pattern, and it's very basic. She says you can do whatever kind of cable patterns you like, but I'm following along. Um, so that's what it is right there. I'm going to be sticking the front though and making it a zippered cardigan, not even buttoned. I'm putting a zipper in. Also, while reading through, she has you just like knit it in a tube all the way up to the shoulders, and then you stick like right here and sew on the sleeves that way. It's like kind of crazy, but I'm going with it. Like I'm gonna follow her directions. Anyways, so here is the sweater so far. I've gotten some good progress on it.
That's awesome.
I'm loving it. The texture, the cables, I love like it's hand spun, so it's a little lumpy and bumpy. Here, let me hold it open a little bit more. You can see this is the fish trap pattern right here. Um, it's like I don't know, traveling stitches, so it's like little 2 stitch cables, and then there's these cables here, and I have some seeking stitches right there in the middle. That's the front of the center. But yeah, fun stuff.
And I am so far behind. I have to actually spin the yarn still.
That's okay. Well, I mean, it's for January and it's like April, so whatever. I'm just starting. I want to knit through that thing, and I'm starting, and I don't care what month it is, but I'm liking it. It's squishy. It's my wool from my last owl, which was the tardy fleece that I spun up. And I'm actually almost done with the first skein. Look at this is all I have left of that one. So it's about I forget how many. It's 600 to 700 yards right here, which is crazy. But I've been going hard because I wanted to front load this newt pretty hardcore so that I don't get super far behind once classes start up. Yeah. So that's all I've been working on. Actually, no, it's not all I've been working on. It was. I've been taking around my Kia socks, and they are all but finished. I just have to Kitchener them, but I think I will save them so I can do that for detention. They're for Chloe. She likes blue. The yarn is soft and shiny. Yellow Knife Sky, a Super Rush Merino, nylon, and gold Stellina. Um, she doesn't dye anymore, but she's still a house cup and around on the interwebs. But it's sparkly and fun, and Chloe's gonna like it. Okay, that's all I have for knitting whips.
So I have a couple of whips. I have these socks that I was working on for my owl, which I did not finish last semester. I have just this much left, so I'm just gonna bind off for detention. So they're just sitting here waiting. They're pretty much done. Um, and since I did toe up, I'm just gonna do the stretchy bind off.
The sewn one or
The knit, you like yarn over knit, yarn
okay.
over knit type of thing. Um, so yeah. So also part of my newt is Andy's, and those are for Andy, is Andy's vest that I've been knitting him. And I am just at the top part of this pattern.
Nice.
So you can see that I've passed off for the arms, and then I'm like, I did all the decreases, and now I'm just doing the flat till I get 10.5 inches from this. But that would be 25.5 inches from the bottom. So I'm just knitting straight, well, in pattern, because it's, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a mistake rib.
Yeah, that's pretty. Or
So,
hands.
yeah. So that's what I'm working on. So I have the back of his vest done, which is nice.
That's awesome.
But I've been working on that. And then I'm also working on another shop model for Dawn of Fairy Tale Knits. It's the pattern is called Turn and Wave, and it's crocheted. I have to block it still. Um, but and you change colors and you like add fringe. And I have realized that I really don't like fringe unless it's woven fringe, like on a woven item, because then you like twist it. I don't know. I just don't like fringe. So I guess I will never be a cowboy.
That's a bummer.
But yeah, so I'm almost done with this pattern. I have like one more thing to do, and then I do the edging and sew it together and block it.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So that's the only knitting and crochet whips that I have.
Okay.
I
Spinning?
wish I had seen they had a detention newt. They called it something else, and they only had 8 spots open, and I didn't see it until later after April 1st. So I didn't get a chance, because if they had done that, I would have submitted my detention owl stuff plus all the fiber that I had to process and do all that, and maybe even my knitting blanket that I've been knitting on, the mitered square blanket.
Yeah.
Or maybe just the mitered square blanket, because that's a new worthy project. So yeah, like I wish I had seen that, and I hope they keep it around, because maybe I'll do that the next time.
I think it's a good thing that they do that, because I think they're realizing, I mean, how many years has this been going on? Like, people get works in progress and you can't hand them in for anything except for detention. And sometimes the detention owl, what is that, once a year?
Yeah, it's always the winter term.
No, people, you want to finish things.
Yeah. I like that. I like when they have work in progress finish work in progress for classes, which they don't do very much
I
anymore.
don't think.
But I like those. But yeah, so I saw that they had that for Newt, so I was thinking, oh, if I had seen that, I would have submitted my mitered square blanket and all of the stuff for my owl that I didn't have time to finish, because it seems like the detention owl, when it comes, at least for me, it's the busiest time of the year. So I really don't have time to do an owl, even though I propose it every time. And I did get further on the stuff that I was working. Like those socks are basically done.
That's what I was gonna say. At least you did get some stuff done, like
But I
getting.
didn't even touch the sweater. So yeah.
But you still did some stuff, you know. So that's good. It's progress. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's where I'm at with the works in progress.
Cool.
So, you spin me right around.
I'm not actually spinning, but I am, like I said, I'm processing 4 fleeces. So right now, I'm actually doing the Romney. You can see this is the raw fleece. The tips are all kind of matted together and kind of, I don't know, crummy. So I've washed fleece like this before, but then once you wash it and clean, the tips are still kind of stuck together and you still have to flick out the ends. And then I saw on Instagram a few months ago, Snurb Yarn, she did a whole like little video series just in her regular posts about processing fleece. And she goes like way into detail.
Yeah, it is in her regular post because I went looking for it, and I looked in her highlights to see if she had it saved, and she did not. They're in her actual post. You have to like go down her.
Yeah, so it's like 10 videos, like minute long. So it's a 10-minute thing per post, because you put, you know, like 10 videos when you do the multiple things. Anyways, but one of the things she said was when she has a really dirty tipped fleece, she'll take it and a flick carder, which is just a little bit of carding cloth on a handle, and she flicks the ends out, and it gets all the gunk out of the ends. See how nice and fluffy that looks now? So I've been doing that, and it is adding a ton of time onto this. But I washed up, so I separated this fleece into like dark and light because it was around me, so it wasn't all the same color. And I flicked and washed up the light stuff, but like this stuff is all done and clean and dry. But you can see it's like there's like you'd hardly even have to card it. Like I could take this and spin it from here if I wanted to. I mean, it's not in a super uniform thing, but like the way I did it, I just have little clicks, things of fiber that is all clean. So these were the tips and this is the cut end. But yeah, so it's super nice. It's probably like the nicest prepped washed fleece I've done so far from doing this. But I have 2 bags of it. These are 8 ounces each, so I have a pound so far. And then I have, like, I'm putting them into these mesh bags. I probably have another 1.5 pounds flicked. Oops. So far, and then I have this whole bag yet to do. And actually, I have some of this box yet. So I still have a ton to do. It's very time consuming, but I think worth it in the end. Thankfully, the Cormo fleeces were both coated, so their tips are fine. And I won't have to do this. I can just wash those. And then the other one, I haven't really got on, so we'll see. But I thought I'd start with this one since it was not the worst, but like the worst one.
The most work.
Yeah. But the fleece is beautiful.
So that's cool that I watched those, and I love that she has a fleece closet. Like, yeah. I'm like kind of jealous. But I also wanted to say, so like those tips are the ones that a lot of people will tell you just to do a cold soak on and then wash.
But they still, I've done that before. It still sticks together
Yeah.
after you wash it. I've done it. I've washed like I don't know
I
before.
have all that fiber I showed last time. I have that to do. So I think I'm going to try, I think her name is Bren.
Bren, yeah.
Um, I'm going to try her method because it seems to work a lot better.
Now she has these tiny little bags that she only washes 4 ounces at a time. I have these huge, they're like giant laundry bags, but I am setting them in there. So the tips are up and let me get the other one real quick. Um, like I don't know if you can see, like it's all like flat. It's not just in there willy nilly. Like the tips are. This is like really hard to show.
They're all laying the same
Tips
way.
are up. They're all in order. And like when I do it, I only put about, I think this is about 8 ounces of fiber. And I put that in one pot when I wash it and bring it up. But I also followed her tips too. Did you watch all of the videos of like the washing and everything? Because there's like, I don't know, maybe like an hour's worth of video to watch through. You have to like plug your phone in because
Yeah.
otherwise, well, mine
And
died.
I'm kind of totally jealous of her garage. Well, I don't have a garage, but her like dying studio / garage.
Well, not even. She just like she's getting a studio space now. That was like her old system.
Oh,
And
well, I'm still totally jealous of the three basin tub.
yeah.
I think that is amazing.
So if you want to go see what we're talking about, Snerb SNERBYARN on Instagram. She's totally awesome.
I'll try to link to her Instagram account in our show notes.
I've been following her for years. She's totally awesome and spins beautifully and dyes beautifully. And
if you go into her thing, she has spinning, like how she spins videos too.
Yeah.
But I was watching her processing ones. So they're pretty cool.
Anyways, I really like that tip because these tips are, I mean, and cheap or dirty and stuff, but you know, it's just I thought it was really cool. To see the process and to see the end product and to actually do it and see how. So I went through actually in some of these and I did her little method of like rubber banding them.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the tips are but that takes so long. Like I was watching TV and doing this one night when my hands were tired of doing the actual flicking. But I have about 16 ounces or a pound of it right here, but it took forever to do. So what I do, actually, I wonder if you can see like this, like that. I separate out each little bit right there. And as I sit here, and then I flick those and put them in, and then I set out some more. So like, if you don't want to take the time to rubber band them, you don't have to. But yeah.
Right. And I think that's like the fun of processing fiber and like watching these videos, and you can pick and choose what works for you. And like she just shared what works for her. And like you pick up the flicking before washing hint, and then like that works for you. So
Exactly. It's, it's awesome. And I'm very thankful that she shared that. So
yeah,
it's been going well. But I am looking forward to having this piece done. I'm going to try and work hard on it in the next week or two because I won't allow myself to start spinning because I really only need to spin 4 ounces of each fleece. Like it's more a washing and processing and knitting note than spinning, which kind of makes me sad. But that's okay. Because I figured I could get
you can spin for classes.
spinning points for classes, yeah. But I don't know. Spinning is my jam.
So after watching that video, because I usually use Simple Green and Dawn dish soap when I clean, but I was at a show this weekend, so I picked up the Kookaburra scour because I'd never tried it before. Like I've used the Unicorn Power Scour, and I picked up this just small one. I think it's 16 ounces. But after she showed, because she showed like how you squeeze it into here and measure it out, and I think that's the most fantastic thing in the world.
That is cool. I just have a big old gallon of mine. It's almost gone, but I use like a little bit of this and just a splash of the Simple Green together, and it like cleans it so well.
Oh, you don't even use the Dawn at all?
I don't use Dawn, no. I used to back in the day, but now I use a scour and just a little bit of simple green, which I think I got from someone else online.
I got that from Blue Mountain Handcraft.
Yes, Blue Mountain Handcrafts. Best. Anyways,
I'll have to think about trying that and not the Dawn.
um,
So does it clean, like if you have a really lanolin-y one, does it get the grease out?
this Romney one isn't, I mean, it's good and lanolin-y, but it's not super greasy. I'm gonna try, I know my Cormo is more greasy because it's a finer fleece, so I'll see how it does on that. I'll let you know. I'll
Oh,
report.
like you haven't tried that combination before?
Not on the Cormo.
Okay.
I did it on this stuff, and it is completely free of anything. It is like squeaky clean
Okay.
fiber, and it's soft and it's beautiful. And I only did the one wash, like one time of adding the soap, the scour and the simple green, and I dunked it and then I took it out. But I did use her method where you put it, instead of trying to wring out all the air, because she said if you wring out or all the water, the fiber fills with air pockets, and then when you try to go to submerge it again in another pot of hot water, when you're washing the fleece, the pockets don't allow the pockets of air like can felt stuff. So she says like when you're switching, because like I'll do a pot of the soapy water and then I go to another pot of hot, scalding hot water. But I used to like let it drip as much as I could out. But so now I put it in a bucket, and it still keeps some of that water in there, so it still stays completely wet. So that when you put it in the new clean water to soak it again, it submerges right away, and you don't have to like fight with it so much because the air pockets aren't there.
Yeah,
So it's
I
good.
already did that because I never had enough room, so I would just move it from one bucket to the other, fill up the next one, and dunk it back in.
I don't remember. I've done it so many different times, but I have 3 pots going at one time where I like wash 3 bags at one time. I don't know. But no, it's just, good info. It's always fun to learn new things and get different tips, like you said, from different people and stuff.
Yeah. So after you do the core mold, you'll have to let me know about how that gets the grease out. Because sometimes, like when I first started doing washing fibers or fleeces, I used just Dawn,
Dawn
and
didn't always cut it all that well.
right, and it leaves it sticky.
Like a film.
So,
Yeah, this stuff is completely.
yeah. So then when I used the simple green plus just a little bit of Dawn, it works way better.
I
And
think that's the scour that helps.
yeah, so I
Get
think this scour and maybe adding simple green. It's just because it's when it's greasy is what you want the Dawn for to get the grease.
But I think that simple green helps with that too.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Anyways, so
Anyways, I'm all about the fleece, but I'm excited because I bought those fleece in the last like couple months, and they were actually all from this Romney is from Covered Bridge Farms um, on Instagram, and I've been following her for a while, so like I know what a sheep's name is Jessie. It comes from, and then the other 3 are from a different farm. Christy P with 3, I believe is her Instagram name. But it's really fun to be able to see like the actual sheep that your fiber is coming from. I think it's cool. But I wanted to be able to process it and not just have them sit here for a year or two and have it just be dirty. I want them washed and ready to be used. So I'm
yeah, get it. So I think I've been thinking about because I do have some fleeces that I did process. They're clean, but I haven't like finished processing like into spinnable forms. So I have actually been thinking of like now that I have a drum carder, like processing these things and then maybe like making basic bats for people just to buy different hand processed things. I don't know. I've been thinking about that because I really like doing it and I have a ton of fleeces in the basement that I should probably do something with.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's one of those things like
Yep. All
and
right.
so
Yep.
I have some spinning too.
Okay.
Are you done with your spinning stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So last term I was spinning a mashup, or last classes last month, and I didn't finish it for classes because I am just not that dedicated, I guess, anymore. And I went to bed. I was tired, and March was busy, so I finished it and I applied it, and I got 658 yards. So that turned out really fantastic.
It's beautiful.
Um, and that was using Spotted Circus oil slick, which was that black merino firestar blend, and then Heavenly Wool's salamander color of merino. So that's what I did. But I must have spun the salamander super fine, because when I finished, I had a bobbin full
That's
of,
great.
not full, but I had a bobbin, half of a bobbin left over. So I just Navajo plied it with itself. So that's the salamander Navajo plied. And it's about an ounce that I had left over. So that was 90 yards. But I thought it would be good. They're about the same weight, even though one's a 3-ply and one's a 2-ply, but they like go really well together. Obviously, they're the same fiber, but but I just thought, like, look, just adding that black oil slick, how much does it change the?
Gorgeous. I really, really, really like it.
So I actually spun that. So yeah, that's the only spinning that I
I
have.
don't know if I shared my 2 spins last time. I don't remember. I can't remember if I
It's
finished
like the 27th, I think, when we talked, and you were like turning stuff in for classes.
If I turned them in, then maybe I shared them already.
So yeah. Let me scroll down. So binging.
Okay, yeah. So I've been binging a lot because a lot of the fleece processing and then painting and stuff that I've been doing. So I finished the Mercyverse audio books that I was listening through. I listened to a couple of the Temperance Brennan series. Um, and I had the first one, and then I think I had to skip like 2 and 3, and I went to like 4 or 5. Like, I forget what numbers I listened to, but I listened to a couple of them, and they're good and sciencey and murdery fun, whatever. But I needed a break from that, so then I went to the Dresden Files. I had listened to the first 2 of those, I think, earlier, so I listened to 3, 4, and now I'm on 5 with it, which is Death Masks. But Harry Dresden's fun. But now I'm kind of like, I like it, but I don't know if I can like listen to it straight through like I have with the Mercy books. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm
Listen to the Temperance Brennan ones.
that, and the Dresden Files. Like, I don't know. I can't listen all the way through like the whole entire series like I can with some books. I don't know. Maybe I'm just losing interest. I don't know why, but they're good. Like, I like them. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. So I couldn't listen to those straight through. Like, I still can't listen to the Dresden Files straight through. They're just so, not so dark, but they're just so like serious. I don't know, because they're kind of not serious at the same time. I don't know.
It's funny, it's dark, but like, yeah, they're big problems. And then like, I don't know how far you've listened, so I don't want to spoil anything.
I'm
But
in the 5th book, I think. I
okay,
finished.
like, I don't know. I'm just mad at like how some of the things
Oh,
happen. Like, some of that stuff has to happen because that's how books are. There has to be
yeah.
drama and issues, otherwise you wouldn't listen to it. But I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
I totally get it. Anyways, but the Temperance Brennan ones, because it's like fiction, but it's like sciency and based on like real things. I
Well,
have to like go every other book because I can't. It's like there's so much crazy in the world. Like I use reading as a way to have fun and escape and not necessarily deal with like real life stuff.
Right.
Not like it's real life, but you know what I mean? Like it's like
It's for
serious
your
problems. So
right. No, with those ones, Temperance Running, I watched the whole show Bones, which is based on the books, but she's completely different.
yeah.
The only thing is that like she's smart, like she's a completely different character, which was crazy to me. I think I went in listening to the books thinking it was going to be a lot of the same, or I don't know what I thought, but so it's interesting, and I guess it's good too because I'm not like sick of it. Whereas you're like been there, done that, but it's just weird. Like it took me the first whole book to like really get my head around. She's not super awkward, and she
And
has
she's older, you know, like
she has and like it's just like whole different character almost, and it was weird.
yeah. I remember though I said that she's not the same.
You did, but I still didn't expect it as to what it was. Anyways, but yeah. So I'm liking that. I don't know. I'll probably finish listening to one of the Harry Dresden books, and maybe I'll find something else. I don't know. We'll see. But it helps with the processing of the fleece. So as for watching, um, I caught up on a few of my shows that had a few episodes, like Grey's Anatomy, Station 19, Shadowhunters. They all like had a couple episodes that were all new because everything's starting back up. And then I watched this show called Younger. There's like 5 seasons. They're short, like 10, 12 episodes per season. It's on Hulu. It's like a publishing company drama thing. It was okay. It was like really, they're like short episodes, like 25-minute episodes. Like it wasn't very serious, and it was like just like potato chip watching. I think I took that as like a palate cleanser from in between the books. But yeah, it wasn't great. But it had Hilary Duff. Like I don't know, like it wasn't like horrible, but it wasn't serious. I don't know. It wasn't. I don't know. It was like Hilary Duff is in it, and then I forget what the actress's name. She was on Bunheads, and I really liked her. I don't know, personality. And she's kind of like the same. You know how actors have like a personality, and sometimes it comes through in all their characters. Not like super the same, but I don't know. I could look it up, but I don't really care that much. Anyways, it's this 40-year-old woman who had to put her career on hold when she had a baby and like got out of the publishing editing business. And then she tries to go back once her daughter goes to college, and she can't get a job anywhere because everyone wants someone young. So she pretends to be 26 years old and like lies to everyone, and everything that like happens because of these lies.
That sounds kind of hilarious.
It's funny, but it's not like, you know what I mean? Like it was like potato chip watching. Like I watched it because it was okay and it wasn't horrible. I don't know. It was okay. It's not one to watch around with kids because there's lots of sex talk and stuff like that. But it was amusing. And I watched it in like just a few days because they were super short. Like you could watch one season in like a day because they're 20-minute episodes, and only 10 of them or 12 of them. Anyways, and then I started watching Whiskey Cavalier,
Yeah.
which has Maggie from The Walking Dead, which is why I started because I like it.
Yeah, I started watching that a while ago, so now I just wait for the new episodes because I can't get it together to watch it like live.
Oh, is
Um,
it? It's on TV?
yeah, so
Oh,
that's why every week now that you've been watching it on Hulu, it'll pop up in your front thing saying what's new, and it'll be the newest episode.
okay.
So there's that.
I'm only a couple episodes in.
Yeah, I really like that one. It's funny. Um, I've been binge watching NCIS and Doctor Who and The Goldbergs with Andy. But then I found on Hulu they had CSI, like the original CSI, and like the Las Vegas one, which I liked the best, anyways. So I started watching that. I'm on like the 4th episode. Um, but I totally binge watched A Discovery of Witches, like straight up. And then I started watching Legacies.
I can't remember if I've watched all of the originals and the Vampire Diaries. I think
So I watched all of the Vampire Diaries, and I'm like halfway through the originals right now. So I went back and I started watching the originals where I was. I didn't go from the beginning.
which the Legacies you said is like a
So I started watching the Legacies because it's got what's his name in it?
Alaric.
Alaric and his kids. So his daughters are like 16 or 17 now. And then, because the last season of Vampire Diaries, they're like 1 or 2 or 3. I forget how old they are. Because remember, the last season of Vampire Diaries goes forwards and backwards.
Yeah, I think I watched it all. I remember being annoyed with it. I don't remember exactly what all happens, but
So, Vampire Diaries is really good. I liked how it ended, kind of. I have to go back and watch the last episode, I think, because there's some stuff that I don't remember. But anyways, I finished watching that, and then originals, I'm like about halfway through, and like in that, Hope Michelson, which is what's her name's the werewolf's daughter and Klaus's daughter. So she's like half vampire and half wolf, but not really because in the Michelsons, like their one sister's a witch, so she's like a tribrid or whatever you would want to call it, not a hybrid. So the show Legacies is basically about her. She's like 15 or 16 too. Like Alaric has built this school for these vampire children and witch, vampire, and werewolf like children, and it's just kind of interesting because there's some people from uh, the end of the Vampire Diaries are in it, and then there's the people there's not a lot, there hasn't been a lot of people from the originals in it. Like I was like maybe 5 episodes in, and I stopped, and I'm like, I need to finish watching the originals first before I watch this. But it was just cool because they brought in the one episode they brought in Jeremy for a little bit, so that was cool. And Matt's in it a little bit, like he's like way older, obviously, but like so Alaric has this school, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, but like where the school is the Salvatore Mansion basically, and there's like grounds and everything, and I'm like, okay, so that's been like maybe 10 years, but like the school is way more advanced, like the buildings are way more advanced than where it was at the end of, so like that kind of messes with your mind, but it's kind of cool too, like the whole idea about it. So that's good. And then Hope, which is the baby in the originals, she's like a vampire werewolf witch person, so it's kind of cool. um it's just interesting.
maybe I'll have to go catch up on.
Like it's fun. Like if you liked Vampire Diaries, you're probably gonna like the show. And like originals is more like, so Vampire Diaries was more teeny. That makes sense. It started out teeny, and then it got more. They got older, but it still was kind of teenish. And then the originals, it was more adult. Adults dealing with that stuff. So it's like a good blend of the two. But even though it's got like teens in it, so it's good. It's like a fun watch. So I've been watching that. So I started watching. AMC picked up A Discovery of Witches from Sundance, and I started watching it. So Jessica told me how long ago, and even just recently, to just subscribe to Sundance Now for free for a week and watch it. So I did that yesterday. I watched the whole season. I was so tired I didn't do anything. I just watched TV. But I watched The Discovery of Witches, and I really liked it, and it makes me want to reread it. But I remember when I read it, I was like, this is such a slow book.
It does have a lot of info and stuff in it.
That 8 episodes of that first season is basically the whole first book that they put into 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But I mean, I liked it. I mean, there was stuff that I think they changed, if I remember correctly.
They changed some, but it was pretty
It
dead
was
on.
good.
Like, it was a very good
And I
book.
really liked the actors that they got to play the characters, like her aunt Sarah. That was cool. Um, anyways, so I binged watched that. I've been listening to the other series again. Um, I'm on the fifth book, and I'm thinking I will do the extra two ones, but I'm kind of anxious because I subscribed to Audible again, so I got um, the first book. In Alona Andrews has a clean sweep series that people talked about, and it's like kind of the Edge series, but it's the kids from the Edge series are older, and there's like it's like new characters. Um, so uh, Laura Linneman always talks about it on the Knit Girls. So I finally just bought the first one because our library doesn't have it. So I used one of my actually, I didn't use my credit because when you're an Audible subscriber, you get the credit for like the $15, and then you get like 20 or 30% off of any of the other books. So I looked at that book and it was already like $15 regular, but with the percentage off, it was like $10. So I just bought it because I didn't want to use my credit because I'm saving my credit for the new Mercy Thompson book. But yeah. Anyways, so I want to listen to that. It's called Clean Sweep by Allena Andrews. So I want to listen to that, and I'm like listening to the others, but I'm enjoying listening to the others now because I listened to them last year. I listened to them a while ago, and then I listened to them last year, and now I'm listening to them again after all the new books have been out, and it's just kind of good to listen to it again. So,
Okay.
anyways, like I'm picking up new things and hearing different stuff, but anyways,
That's what I need to get
that's
back
what I've been doing.
I don't think I even listened to the fifth one of that.
Oh, it's good, and it kind of finishes this Simon and Meg storyline, if that makes sense. It doesn't finish it, but it like closes it, and
Okay.
then she has Lake Silence, which is like a Krogard cozy type of book.
I haven't listened to that one.
It's good, and then she just released like last month Wild Country, which actually goes into like Bennett, which you hear about in the fourth book.
Yeah, I must not have listened to the fourth or the fifth.
Well, do you remember Prairie Gold and the Intuits that live there?
I think.
And Jesse Walker. So anyway, so it's like that story, and then like the Lakeside does a job fair to get people, and they hire that Jana Panacea as a deputy for Virgil Wolfgard. That's basically the story, and it's really good. So it's kind of cool because like I'm in the fifth book, so like this Wild Country is probably happening the same time as the fifth book, but
Okay.
I'm listening to the fifth book, and then I'll go back and listen to the extras. Because I think Lake Silence kind of happens also in between the fourth and fifth book, or maybe like a little bit after the fifth book, but it's around the same time, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, so I like it, but it's kind of like so like listening to it, it's so right on, like how Anne Bishop has like captured how people act towards things that are different or weird, and how humans are just so how we are basically. Like it's just kind of interesting, and it just kind of makes me laugh like Riley at things. So yeah, but that's what I've been listening to. So, and I have a lot of sewing I need to do. I have a lot of cutting I need to do of fabric to get sewing. So yeah, I'll be listening to straight up books. Like I took yesterday off because I was just so exhausted I couldn't even think, and that's why I binge watched Discovery of Witches. So,
And
anyways, we can go on to random randomness because, yeah. So, also binging. I've been doing this 911, so I'm caught up.
yeah, I did that too. Actually,
that. So that'll show up on Hulu too with whatever else, Whiskey Cavalier. Anyway, so randomness. Last time we talked, I sent out my Slytherin swap, and I got mine. I got to show you a picture of it because I put everything away. So I had so Twisted Stitcher FGE, I think is her name, had me, and she sent me this fantastic package, and it was all wrapped, all pretty in there, and then it ended up being like a breed study in a box. It was awesome. She sent me like all different kinds of fiber to try. Most of it was washed and some chocolate, and then this really cool hitchhiker shawl that's like colors of greens. It's really pretty. I already wore it like twice. And she sent me some coffee. It was just a great package altogether. So I have all these breeds to try.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of fun. I'm excited for that. So that was fun. Last weekend I had Allentown Fiber Festival, and it was a lot of fun. Just this past weekend. One thing I didn't tell you guys about. So I have a friend. Her name is Carol, and she works at Joann's. And our Joann's decided to not have classes anymore, so they got rid of the classroom, and so they were cleaning it out. And Carol, the manager, asked her if she wanted the yarn, and she said, "I'll take some of it." But she knew I joined blankets for the House Cup for the Slytherin Sunshine Committee, so she brought me these 2 bags full of yarn for joining. So it's like acrylic yarn for joining the blankets.
That's awesome.
And that is why that baby blanket that I joined is joined with orange, because that's not a color I would ever buy. But yeah, so my friend Carol hooked me up with some yarn to join stuff. So I have enough to join, and I think this term I'm going to focus on making different squares. Like I have that 200 crochet blocks book. I think I might try to work through that somewhat.
That's fun.
Let's make a bunch of different squares for the Sunshine Committee, because I have some squares, but I've actually been getting low, and I have another blanket that I need to make, and it's not a baby blanket, it's a comfort blanket.
I would also like to make at least 1 square a month.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing that I'm starting with the Slytherin Sunshine Committee campaign, I guess, of like just make a square a month and then send it to me on the off months. Like send 3 to me on the off months, and you'll be sorting safe. And you're helping out a fellow Slytherin, whether it's giving them welcome your baby or a hug if they need it. Because like I do 16 squares for the baby blankets, and then I do 4x4, and then I think I do for the comfort blankets I do maybe 5x5 or 5x6, I don't remember. So it's like a longer blanket for when I send out the Slither hugs. So my stash of squares are getting low. And I like to try and change them up. I don't like to have the same person who's made I don't like to have the same yarn, if that makes sense, like the same
right
square. Because most of the time people, when they make squares, it'll be the same yarn and pattern, and then I'll get like a pack. So yeah, I try to switch it up so it's like different, and it is coming from all different Slytherins. So anyway,
your plug.
that's going with that. So I think for this term I'm going to try and make a square a month, and maybe I'm trying to encourage other Slytherins to do the same thing. So yeah.
That's
and I know like we had a baby blanket in the UK that Mousy is making. She's joining, and she's like the collection point 4 over there. So I know like she doesn't have as many squares as I have. So if you live in the UK and you want to send squares, contact her, Mrs. Mouse One. And then if you live in Canada, Aunt Tallulah is the collection point for there. So, anyways, that's the thing.
Very
So
cool.
I have been looking for like a closing cookie jar for my um, coffee. And then the other day I was in my sewing room and I was like, I have a cookie jar. It's a TARDIS and it makes noise. So I decided to just put my coffee in there instead of looking for like a ceramic one. Like I don't know why I didn't think of it before, and it like takes off every time I take coffee out of it. So kind of cool. But yeah, I got new fabric. You guys want to see it?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a sewing thing anymore, but I got new fabric. I have to take it to the store and actually match it up, which I think I'm going to do after we podcast. So I got this sushi town. How fun is that?
Oh, that is cool too.
And then I had this before. These dragons. Um, they're like a bigger print, so I only make my bigger bags with them. Like my sock boxes wouldn't really work. Um,
Right. You want
I've
to be
made
able to see it.
like the bigger bags with it, and I had made some for Pittsburgh Knit Crochet, and they sold, so I bought another couple of yards. Um, they're like angry dragons though, but they're like almost like they look like the Game of Thrones dragons that I've seen pictures of. I don't watch Game of Thrones because I don't have HBO. I got some more of this awesome batik yarn fabric that I found. Um, so it's a batik, but it's like this awesome like octopus.
Ooh, that is really cool.
Yeah. So I got more of that because I also sold out of that. Sometimes if I'm not completely sure about fabric, I'll only get like 2 yards. And then if I sell out of the bags I've made of that, I'll get more. So yeah. And then I found this gnome fabric, but there was only, and gnomes really go well, but there was only 3 yards of it, so I bought it all because gnomes. And then last but not least, I'm always looking for fun fabrics, especially fabrics with cats. And I found this one. They're cats riding. They're
Koi.
dressed in kimonos and they're riding like turtles and koi fish. They're
That's awesome.
so I got that fabric, and I can't wait to match it and make things with it, make knives with it. So yeah, so I've been getting ready for all kinds of things. So I have that, and then I have like a stack of fabric that I need to cut and then iron and then sew. So it's
Okay.
never ending, but it's kind of fun too. So. But I also ordered some more of the fabric that I had printed, and I ordered a new one because I made a new one. But they haven't come yet, so when they come, I'll show you guys.
Very cool. I last time I think it was in the middle of spring break and I was in the process of painting Leah's room.
Yeah.
Well, I finished that and then I moved on to Chloe's and I painted her room and her trim all white. So like our spring break was pretty much me painting, which was fine. But the girls are super, super happy with their new rooms. So that makes me happy. But that takes a lot of time and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. That's it. But as I look around the house, I'm like, my not dream, but you know, like I've wanted to paint all the trim white is like almost done. Not all done, but like I still have like the family room and the kitchen to do down here and the bathroom. Um and then upstairs I just have the boys' rooms and the bathroom and some of the hallway. But you know, the house has been done, which is crazy. Well, over 2 years it's taken, but whatever. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, that's
Painting
cool.
is not fun.
It isn't.
I'll tell you that much. But yeah, so that was my last week or 2 weeks ago, rather. And then I took like a break of like just sitting and doing stuff. Actually, I think that's when I started processing the fleece after that. Crazy.
Yeah, well, you should do something that you like to do after doing all the painting.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I She showed me a video of Chloe's room finished, and I really like that light teal color.
Yeah, it's super, super light. I think it was called like Aqua Air Mountain. No, Alpine Air Aqua or something. I don't know, some weird like whatever. But she loves it. And then she got new blinds for her windows because we had just used some ones that were from down here and they were like peachy pink colored and they were like
That's what you do.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we don't have a ton of money, so we try to save where we can. But she's 12 and wanting to have like a more teenagery room. Anyway, so we got her white blinds, and then they're like sheer teal, like really light teal curtains. And she came in there, she's like, I feel like a princess should live here. It's like keeps going on and on about how pretty and like it should be in a castle and like because it's all flowy and light and bright and I'm like, well, I'm glad you like it. So
Well, I
she,
showed Bella that, and now she wants to paint her room. And I said, well, you have to clean it up first because I'm not going in there.
oh yeah, they had to take it all out and clean it themselves. I just came in and painted it.
Well, I might tell her that then. Um, but yeah, they don't really have a spring break. They have an Easter break, so it's starting this weekend.
Oh, well, but it's amazing how much paint will change something.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, I don't know if you guys can see behind me. Like this room looks way brighter now, right?
Yeah.
We got new blinds as well. They're 2-inch wide plastic
Faux
wood blinds. I got them, like I've been wanting them for a while, and I took down the drapes that I had. They were just horrible. So I took them down, and I actually think you guys can tell me what you think about this. So I think I have, like, if you can see up here, wait, right there, I have those metal curtain rods that you have everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm gonna do is take that, attach it to something, and then tie some of my hand spun on it and make like a weaving thing, and maybe tie the other end to my thing, my heddle thing, not my heddle, what's it called, a waddle that I got with my loom. It's basically like a board with nails in it that you use when you warp from front to back.
Oh.
And I only warp from back to front, so I don't know actually how to use it. Anyways, what was I going with that? Oh, I think I'm gonna like rig something and then like weave, like, you know how you see those really cool weaving, those like fancy weaving things. I think I'm gonna do that with some of the hand spun, because there's some hand spun that I have like from when I first started spinning, or just sampling different fibers that I'm not gonna use because I was sampling, like true sampling, like 2-ply, 3-ply, 4-ply, to see what I like. And I think I'm gonna like, I'm thinking I might weave like, I don't know what they're called, but the top part.
Valances.
There you go. I think I might do that and then just put that up at the top of all my windows in here.
That sounds really fun. I've always thought of having that, like weaving different things for window balances, but that's a lot of work.
It is, but I think it would be cool. A friend of mine, she just did that, and she took like a stick instead of that metal thing, or maybe she took that metal thing and just tied yarn and just have it hanging down. That might do something.
Really fun idea.
Anyways, those are my thoughts. But yeah, we are totally just randomly talking about random things. So we're gonna let you guys go, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Also, sorting is live. Go sort yourselves. If you
I sorted.
I know I tagged you. And I'm sure that they tagged you too, because every time they have the remember all, I sign you up for that too.
I signed myself up too. Yeah, I got a couple different messages, and then like earburn from Katykins and you, and then you. I think you Snapchatted me, but I didn't have my. We've been transferring our phones to new service, so like I didn't have it at first. But I went online and I sorted because I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not
So
this.
you guys should too. It's only going to be open a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So we will talk to you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah. See you.